it's true. People don't give the credit where it's due for how much Clubhouse did for basically culture at large and tons of businesses. And in some cases, entire industries that were spiked through Clubhouse, like NFTs. So, do you want to talk about how you found NFTs, how we found NFTs? And I think that'd be a good intro to this story.
I mean, yeah, by the way, on the Clubhouse point, you're absolutely right. I mean, Clubhouse makes live social audio a thing. And you can talk about timing and whatnot, but it was like it started like a shift, a revolution almost, right? And then with regards to NFTs, it gave NFTs a voice, which is very important with storytelling and art in general. But I'm sure we'll get to that. Wait, the question was about how we first started this Clubhouse thing.
Yeah, how we
Like,
first started on
yeah.
Clubhouse, and then what happened?
Yeah. Sorry. When I go off on the Clubhouse and live social audio is my social media brain that opens and then I go on that tangent. But on the other tangent, I mean, this was crazy. So you and I obviously have our history together as friends and as people have like created content together here and there. We've obviously been homies for a minute. I call you my COVID buddy. You know, we were like going like on FaceTime 2 hours a day every single day during the pandemic. Remember? That was a vibe. I wish.
I mean, I forget most of that stuff. I mean, that we were.
Charizards, the unpackings, the Pokemons, the live streams on Twitter, on Instagram
Yeah,
Live, and I ripping packs when I opened back-to-back Charizards. Like, remember that?
yeah.
Like,
We were doing FaceTimes, ripping packs, and just basically talking collectibles for 2 hours a day at the beginning of COVID.
I blame you for my accountant being pissed at me putting all these Pokemons on the business.
Ah.
But but that's funny. They're all in my they're down here, but they're in the basement. They're in the
That's
box.
funny.
And
That's
a lot
funny.
of them are just still at the card shop. But anyways, what's funny is like when we discovered Clubhouse together, right? Like obviously Clubhouse had been around. We both knew what it was, but we were never doing anything on it. And then December 28th, 2020. I remember my dates. We were
Holy
like,
cow.
yeah, why don't we just make our own first Clubhouse room and fuck around and find out. So we did that. And then you opened the room. I remember it was like Buster and Farokh. I can probably find it like Buster and Farokh predictions for 2021.
Funny.
We had
Oh man.
listeners for 4 hours, and it was just you and I talking about predicting what we think will happen in the world of like social media and collectibles in 2021. Because we were already talking collectibles, and I was already very deep in the social media world. And then from there on, I got the bug. And so remember, I hosted a Clubhouse room for like 12 to 16 hours a day, every day from the point on that we started on Clubhouse, you and I.
Yeah, at the time there was nothing else to do, and this stuff was just exploding. And there was a point in time too, for it only lasted for like 2 to 3 months, but where everybody influential in every walk of life was just spending their entire days on this platform. And it was the easiest, most accessible point. That's amazing. For anybody that's listening to the audio, Farookh's holding up a phone showing everything 2021 with
And
Farokh and Buster in this Clubhouse room. That was our first one with 2 listeners.
two listeners, literally 2 listeners. And that was the max listeners we got. It was like 10 of them.
It's amazing.
I remember my girlfriend being pissed because we were supposed to go for an hour. We went for 6 hours until 4 a.m. And then from there on, I got the Clubhouse bug.
That format is so nostalgic now. Oh my God. That format's amazing.
Smile.
But so
smile a lot.
So fast forward, we're doing a bunch of these rooms. They're going great. Like eventually thousands of people are joining every single room. It got nuts. It got out of control fast. And then, just wild stuff. Tons of deals are coming. Just like things are going nuts. Then I ended up in a room talking about NFTs, and you came into the room. Logan Paul was in the room. Yep, there it is for anybody listening to the audio. Found the room. We just started talking about NFTs, and it was just like, what is this? At first, ridiculous collectible class that people say exists, but I can't hold it. And you just feel like it's some sort of scam, which a lot of them, especially early, probably were. We'll talk more about that, but. We just get thrown into the alligator den of what was your first interpretation of NFTs?
It's crazy because that room on February 18th, 2021 at 11:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love iPhone because it saves all the timestamps. So what's crazy is I remember I was hosting a party on Clubhouse for Montrealers. So I was wasted when I got into your room. I was half a bottle of Hendrix down. It was one of those nights because I used to throw parties on Clubhouse for people like here in Montreal on Thursday. We threw a DJ thing. I was doing a bunch of stuff on Clubhouse for people to feel better and all of us, maybe myself, to feel better in a way because we had the pandemic bad here. Like we had the curfew at 8 p.m.
Right.
It was first. You weren't allowed 8 p.m. outside your home and you get a big fine, and you weren't allowed even a friend over because it was a $10,000 fine. So there was literally nothing else to do but to be on Clubhouse. It was like a lifesaver in a way. And on that February 18th, I remember seeing you with this on the Buster show, Clubhouse Club, and you had a space called Collectibles and Cards and NFTs to the Moon with question. And then I remember because Logan Paul came up, it's not that you were affiliated to Logan Paul. It's like when Logan Paul comes up, it was like all these like listeners like run into the room because it was a celebrity in Clubhouse. So next thing you know, you go from 20 people to 2,000. Literally, that was the day, right? Just a notification, right? The Clubhouse notification was crazy. And next thing you know, I go in there and I'm here like, obviously you were like the reference for me always with collectibles, and you've obviously helped me buy some cards. I have some of them still in the back here. And you helped me with the Pokemon stuff and whatnot. So you're always my go-to guy for like collectibles. You still are. And then, I end up in this room and I'm like, what the F is an NFT? What does it mean? How does it work? Blah, blah. Next thing you know, all the biggest artists now in the world came into your room. It was Ferocious, Victor Mascara, Fuck Render, Greg Mike, Lady Phoenix, Tommy Kimmelman, who's on the Manifold, Richard, like all the people who were pioneers now today were in that room. And those were the people that you and I were asking a ton of questions to, like, what is an NFT? How does it work? What does it mean? Like, Naveen, Blau. I mean, there's everyone in that room. It was so, even Ben Baller was in there. It's so funny. I still have all the screenshots, Buster, of who was
so
in
crazy.
That
Literally, the who's who of NFTs was in there.
Ferocious, Greg Mike, Blau, like on this one line here. Like, it's actually insane. And I remember that night, I understood right away what an NFT was. And it hit me because I was asking all this stupid question on your stage. Like, what does it work? What do you mean? What does it have value? And the next day I dropped everything I was doing. Like, your room went until 5 a.m., I think. And the next day I dropped everything I was doing. And 2 days later, I bought my first NFT. And then I've been hosting every single day since then, 2 years ago. On
NFTs. Man, it's so incredible. I'm so happy and that, things have, sort of gone the way that they have and the industry grew so much. It's funny because, like, of course, people now are like, NFTs are dead, but you should have seen it in 2020. They were dead in 2020. They hadn't been born yet. Now, I mean, they're thousands of times bigger today than they were at the peak of 2020. And we're talking about it's incredible.